2, 1 on air.
Amen. Yeda twede ampo Nyankopon asese nanso yasan hia biom. Me ba onchen abeka kire wona se. A year and by this time. Me found the onamu. Me found the situation no. Me found the wuhu. Me found the cha ade na ache. De woni da so bia woni wa twa emma bia me found se dia obi eka kire nyansafo eka kire me found solution se de tie ba me de me ka kire say a year and by this time, tomorrow by this time, not in Satraye Abba. Tomorrow by this time, Ediane be busu Israel. Tomorrow by this time, they will need that on Sabeka. Amen. Did you form amen? Amen. Sabre mechia miaminia na mesama wakwaba Pastor Samuel Ayine Aduko. Amen. Ede Nyankopon ase so de wa firi Kumasi abedu ha somdwe mu na ama bone bia ansi e wo kwan mu. Amen. Yeah, twas so a year and by this time. E china se say afese say awo na wo twan ana. Bibi na woni da so sika fia bi na wo hia, capital bi na woni da so. O twan will break through. I'm telling you sir, tomorrow by this time will be the day all answers will come to your prayers. Umpire body when it does so a year and by this time, a chance to say, or do you want to say a chance to say, no man I yet dinner by your mother. The old china and manon, I be kudamono, a chance to say no, obey germ or hunting for no be germ. A year and by this time, a chance to say. Young 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 11. To 16.
2 Kings, chapter number 4,
yes.
Verse number 11
to 16. Yes.
I read. And it fell on a day that he came tied up, and he turned into the chamber and laid there 12. And he said to Gehazi, his servant.
He said to Gehazi, his servant.
Call this Shunammah.
Shunammah woman.
And when he had called her, she stood before him. And he said unto him, say now unto her, behold, thou hast been carefully for us with all this care.
Adoya na wo ye no afode na wo Boaz for asore ho no nia wo ye na nipa yi wa ye no a year and by this time God will visit you. Nia wo ye na for say what to agu no a year and by this time, tomorrow by this time, the Most High God will reward you. Because Bible say, Papa, oh yeah, Papa, man, yeah, what been say, oh, J. Mwaye, and I say, fast way free the power. So, oh, yeah, will be Papa, na say, or the Papa at your car, and fast way now be near free. So, because we are a form for a year, dear, oh, yeah, no. Now, more than a year, he say, a year and by this time, tomorrow by this time, the God that reward will reward you.
Amen. What is to be done for thee?
Then na ye nyama nia wo ye na ofo se watu agu no adoye na wo ye na nipa nyi wa ye ofo se watu agu de wo ye atu agu no ntungu yi nya ebire bi baba onyankopon be bisa o se de na me nyama o daye na waso na wo nya wo breakthrough wo daye num no tomorrow by this time the result no be manifest to physical. Tomorrow by this time there when it does no shall come to pass. A year and by this time wait for the result. Wait for the response. The Lord Most High will answer you. A year and by this time.
Wouldn't thou be spoken for to the king or to the captain of the host? And she answered, I dwell among my own people.
I dwell among my own people.
And he said,
so for 3 verse 13.
Verse number 10.
Mamen come verse no. Elisha said to Gehazi, tell her, we appreciate the kind concern you have shown us. what can we do for you? Can we put in a good word for you to the king or to the commander of the army? Or refer to Nyankopon. Newa yama ye nyina no yemfa ensam bi yemfa wade srade enko Onyankopon anim ana na o ansa wana woman say me wo bibibia me ne nkrofo na wa ha me de me ho me wo sika me wo adan me wo bibibia me hia bia but Elisha hu say o laki bibi wona brabo eba bi na woni da so ma me ne hia ba oni ba enti wadoye na wo ye ne man hwe se watu agu se na unya ntwa so aba akina obetwa so aba o ma betwa so aba. God will reward you and reward your fourth generation, and he will bless you and bless your fourth generation, because Yahweh na kanyankopon Cornelius adoya oye one day or towarsa ena nyankopon man muaye me ka kiro ye Abraham adoya oye Abraham afode ompo wa mantu angu ankasa obede me ye nyoma tu agu kwa nipa mame muaye one day nyankopon man muaye a year and by this time Echina say, dear me no said, Nyankopon asem so na me gina. And if I be a man of God, if I serve the Most High, I am prophesying to your life. Echina say, afese say, dear wani dano, eba na wo peno, sika na wo peno, adwuma na wo de applications akoko kukomu na ye nyam frɛ. Tomorrow by this time, you will receive a call and you will get your appointment letter.
Amen.
Yanko, verse 14.
Verse number 14.
Yes, I'm about 13 or say, what can we do for you? Can we put in a good word for you to the king or to the commander of the army? And she replied, no, my family takes good care of me. Verse 14. Later Elisha asked Gehazi, what can we do for her? Gehazi replied, she doesn't have a son, and her husband is an old man. Verse 14. Call her back again. Elisha told him. When the woman returned, Elisha said to her as she stood in the doorway, next year at this time, you will be holding a son in your arms. Afese say, ebana wani dasono. Ebana wo pena wunya nyaye no. Oh, miscarriage na wunya nyinya no. Me ka cho se enye etwe. Me ka cho se eye process Nyankopon de prapra kwa mu. E kina se afese se wo be wo na onso obada wo sam. Afese se na wo to obadi. Afese se na de wuhia na wo sanka ye na wa pra. Oh, ya do ye so ye bold in morning. Oh, ya do ye so nipa e pretend say ye do. I'm telling you, say a year and by this time, a year and a year and by this time, a year and a sooner kata or sooner mouth our who abe show mano, a year and by this time, a brenna beba, a don be boom, or boff one a beba, or boff one a ba, or boff one a beba, a brenna beson. Tomorrow by this time, you will need done on Sabeka. Verse 16. Next year at this time, you will be holding a son in your arms. And the woman replied, no, my Lord, she cried. Oh, man of God, don't deceive me and get my hopes up like that. Only matoda sensenchwane ba. What bompa ya bo so say answer ne ba e look some funny way mao. But Nyankopon de omfa ho anyhow you see the result. Anyhow fa. The moment what po otwediam po Nyankopon di no, he will reply you. He will reward you because ye wo ye no untungu ye. O se to abodo tu nsu ani. Adachi bi e china se on sabeka. Ye wo ye no nyantungu. It's never happened. The Lord, the God that I serve, always reward. Na so okaso or reward wa. Why ni osia kwan? Why ni abusuya pani? Why no so on the wa ben? Why no so on the o ye den said den kura na. Ho den na wo ye no. Onya ho den no. Bible says, kai se onyankopon twadi ampon ena ma wa honde ma odidi ena ma wa honde ma ode ye de wokoba no watamfo no de omoye ni nyina no twadi ampon onyankopon na ma honde na bere bi beba obeka say enough is enough obeje o ma honde amfiri o monsam na wabie kwan ato ba bi akwan ni ama wo odo no obema nsuo apie ewo esere so eto asase pese so a desert obema nsuo apie firi ho. Come and do be a year, and by this time, whatever you are yearning for, whatever you are waiting for, whatever be your prayers, I am telling you, a year, and by this time, the Most High God will reward you. He will listen to your prayers. Tomorrow, by this time, He will come to your aid. Genesis chapter 18, verse 10 to 14. And I read. Then one of them said, I will return to you about this time next year. One of the angels, 3 angels visited Abraham. Now Abraham yoma doye. Abraham mo baby tonight. Abraham mo diani diye. Abraham mo nsuo nomoye. Abraham mo nsuo dwareye. O mo baby die. Semonna munidi na monna. Munjare na munidi na monna. Na echina monto amakwantu so. Bible say Abraham nyan ho. Na ein esi ahohodan to say yemfa say na hotel and I say apartment for visitors. And to say who to kwan. Na se wo kwa na se okodu baby a Abraham wo na wo hia na otumi ma wo baby tena na ma wo baby nsu adware na yire Sarah nso aye aduane kama ma wo na wadi na wada ade achi a wato akwantuo so na esane de Abraham ye no na nipa fo se oye ne omahunu kwa onhu onim de ode ne sika ye ono de otutu ne sika na Abraham adesre de ne se anko benya ba na dachi bia so ni ho a ne ba no ne yem ade ne ba no adi na ade na wa pra ma onya 100 years. Abraham ware no 50 years. From 50 years to time onya 100 years no ni ba. Moses atwan ya for 40 years ansa na Nyankopon de o se nyamede ne ye no eba mu. Watch 1 year, watch 2 years, watch 1 week, watch bonfire 3 weeks. Result in my oh ye dede. But you come on to pain. Tena beche. Then so enka hoda. Unya wuye ide. Oti asasi so de kwan bia so de was open panel. De wasire otwedi ampo Nyankopon. Ode be ma wo. Won sabeka Nyadia over done a chiachiroda. A year and by this time. Tomorrow by this time will be your day. Ebi dear bana anopa. And shema on kase wakachi. Obi dear ebeba ewia. O dear enya mine, obi dear baby, a manya wajus a wakachi. Obi dear baba numre. And pro home. Momuina dear mbra. Still o dear nyamae, tobo. Apart from anopa. Ewiane anajo no kai se ahenu ache wo ho kai se anajo de suo mu wo ho bra wa da na wani nna so no bra wa da na wani nna no sa bre na result na sa bre na answer na ba na etwen wo se wo be sore answer na etwen se wo be sore na da wo be sore pe wo pie firi wo numu a answer na se minie breakthrough no se minie sa na twede ampo Nyankopon nya na de e kina se a year and by this time the Lord will come to your aid. Amen. Verse 10, Hona. Then one of them said, I will return to you about this time next year, and your wife Sarah will have a son. Sarah was listening to this conversation from the tent. Abraham and Sarah were both very old by this time, and Sarah was long past the age of having children. Verse 12. So she laughed silently to herself and said, how could a worn-out woman like me enjoy such pleasure, especially when my master, my husband, is also old? Verse 13. Then the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, can an old woman like me have a baby? Verse 14. Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return about this time next year, and Sarah will have a son. I will return. Is anything too hard for the Lord to do? And found in fear would be. O classmate for. What the why ya enye yi. Almost row. Almost koba. Almost sisi adan. Almost kanka sakesiye. Almost yenyoma kesiye. Omo ma no pabre. Odi ene ebia na ye nwumre. Ebia na odi ene ye awia. Twan ara. Kosoara na bompae. Kosoa na twantwedi ampo Nyankopon anim. Na wade chiye no is coming. Your tomorrow by this time is near. Your next year by this time is near. Your breakthrough is just close to you. Don't give up. Do not give up. Continue. Persistently. Persistently. Continue praying. Continue knocking at the door. Matthew chapter 7 verse 7. Or say, ask, it shall be given unto you. Knock, it will be open to you. Seek, and you will find. Continue knocking. Continue asking. Continue praying. Continue praying. And one day, one particular day, one particular hour, your answer will be given. Your answer will come. Your day and your year will come. And the Lord will visit you. And He will put a smile in your face. And those who are laughing you will come. Those who are mocking you will come close to you and pretend as if they have done nothing. And I'm telling you, that is your time. Wait for it. It is yours. Wait for it. Your time is near. And the time is now. Shalom. Peace.